longer need to endure the burning of liquid oregano on the tongue. Wild crafted from the Mediterranean oregano species that experts agree is one of the most powerful and most challenging to acquire. This winter season, it's more important than ever to secure this true form of oil of oregano. Now available in our limited first run at InfoWarsLife.com. That's InfoWarsLife.com or call 888-253-3139.
Using unparalleled research in the development of a synergistic formulation based around the key concepts of superoxygenation, the next level in cleansing is here. With key ingredients backed by real clinical studies, the new Oxy powder, available through InfoWars Life, was invented during Dr. Group's research on the toxification of our bodies. Many herbal colon cleansers are harsh on the body and contain cheap and potentially dangerous ingredients, oftentimes full of synthetic fillers, GMOs, additives, or worse. Gently start cleaning your body with easy capsules that start working while you sleep. Oxy powder does not require time off work, and there's no need for bad tasting concoctions. Instead, Oxy powder slowly releases monoatomic oxygen into the intestinal tract and body. Experience the astonishing cleansing power of superoxide and ozonide technology. Go to InfoWarsLife.com or InfoWarsStore.com to get started with Oxy powder, or call 1-888-253-3139.
In the near future.
When you realize how fake it all is, the football, the basketball.
Alert. Security alert. This is Homeland Security. Analysis. InfoWars building independent media operations.
Let the worst people get control and tell us that we are the ones responsible.
Prime directive. Discredit Alex Jones.
Jones is the wildly popular conspiracy theorist.
A popular conspiracy theory talk show called InfoWars.
Alex Jones is now in an Austin jail.
These people are assaulting us.
Targeting of patriots engaged.
They are never going to stop. They're never going to deviate from their program until we stop them.
Block free iPhone app at Infowars.com. Block free podcast and video feed. Imperative. Destroy Prison Planet TV.
You gotta set your eye on the enemy, not worry about what propaganda they put out. Intellectually, it's begun. You can feel it.
The average person's life is filled with unexpected challenges. Unlock the energy it takes to defeat these daily beasts with super male or super female vitality, specifically designed to assist the body in regulating proper hormone balance to create superior vitality in males and females. Supercharge and conquer your world at InfoWarsLife.com or call 1-888-253-3139.
The government's Department of Homeland Security is buying up loads of ammo. At the same time, they're restricting civilians' rights to own and purchase firearms. Can you put two and two together? Infidel Body Armor can stop every round, including hollow points and .308 sniper rounds, is reasonably priced and fully legal. But for how long? Go to InfidelBodyArmor.com, spelled INFIDEL bodyarmor.com. Infidel Body Armor. Just won't quit.
You're listening to The Alex Jones Show.
Hello, this is Hank Hill, and I'm telling you what, you need to listen to Alex Jones.
Yeah. Infowars.com.
Live from Austin, Texas, broadcasting worldwide, it's Alex Jones.
Coming up in the second hour, we'll be covering a lot of news, but I'm going to open the phones up specifically from folks that are in Austin, Texas, and that are listening to give us their take on South by Southwest. And I'm going to break down the secret of South by Southwest next hour, one of the biggest conferences in the world now, started 20-something years ago. And when you understand South by Southwest, you'll basically understand much of the globalist brainwashing model. But we are obviously here hijacking South by Southwest, and I want to see what you think the most important South by Southwest stories are. And specifically, you can also then comment on any other stories that we've already mentioned. But I want to get callers from Austin, Texas. And I rarely do this. Sometimes I say callers from Mexico and the flu was down there, or I want callers from Canada, or I want callers from Japan. And we can usually have a pretty big audience, so we can get callers from specific areas. So today it'll be callers from Austin, Texas, their take on South by Southwest, or folks that are participating in South by Southwest. I will give that number out coming up in the next segment, and then you can line up to get on air with us. So that is all coming up today. So, if you just joined us, let's talk about geopolitical developments that'll curl your hair if you historically understand how dangerous things are. That's why so many former top generals and others are saying this is the most dangerous time we've had, even worse than the Cuban Missile Crisis. You've got ISIS probably firing more chemical weapons at people after they changed their name from Al-Qaeda. You've got Kerry now saying we want to work with Syria's leader, Assad, Bashar al-Assad, after we've spent 4.5 years, our criminal government and NATO, with Turkey and others trying to overthrow the Assad regime. And about half the country's occupied by Al-Qaeda and ISIS Islamic State fighters with their Al-Qaeda flags. It's all Al-Qaeda, folks. Al-Qaeda nomenclature, Al-Qaeda funding, Al-Qaeda flags, running around, blowing up and burning things and doing all of this and cutting people's heads off. And they blow up a bunch of more churches today. We're going to get to that. Meanwhile, I've got headlines here. Bolton, former ambassador to the UN, calls Iran deal unprecedented surrender. And it's all a bunch of politics, Republican versus Democrat. You've got the U.S. and Saudi Arabian embassies on heightened security for whatever reason, AP reports. Obama White House steps up pressure on Republicans over Iran. The news is calling them traitors because they won't go along with a deal with Iran. This is a bunch of double and triple crossing going on. I understand Israel's concern about Iran having reactors, but if there are inspectors and there are cameras in the reactors, they're not going to be able, for at least 5 to 10 years, depending on the numbers you look at, get enough fissile material for weapons. Plus, let's expand on that. From my sources in the military, and I told you this about 6, 7 years ago, and then you've seen some of it in the news, Saudi Arabia has had nuclear weapons for at least a decade, and that was in the news last year that they're acquiring them now and said, don't attack us, Iran. You know, we've got nukes, basically. Kind of like Israel's had nukes since the 60s but won't admit it. South Africa's had them. That was later admitted. I mean, I've got really good sources, okay? I mean, really high-level sources over the years. A lot of them have dried up because now they're locking people up that expose treason. I mean, I have sources on publicly, like Colonel Schaefer, who ran the operation against Al-Qaeda. Abel Danger and Stratus Ivy could have killed bin Laden twice, but was ordered to stand down weeks before 9/11. And, I mean, he has been called in and screamed at repeatedly. And he's now out of the military in a consulting role to the Department of Defense and the Army and does some classified stuff and basically can't even really come on the show because even when he comes on and covers stuff in the news, they call him in and threaten him. But needless to say, ladies and gentlemen, the military listens to this show because they know that I know, compared to other civilian radio, what I'm talking about. Never been in the military, but I've been studying it for 25 years, been on air for 20. I've got the sources, and I'm willing to stick my neck out and cover it. And that's why they listen, because they know we're not making stuff up. And we understand what's going on, and we decompartmentalize because we have sources high level and in other governments and in corporations where we can integrate it together and then give military personnel, whether they're low-level enlisted or high-level commissioned officers or non-commissioned officers, we help decompartmentalize the matrix for folks. And as what we predict becomes more and more true, people realize this is a hardcore broadcast. And I'm not up here bragging. I get white knuckles sometimes, realizing just how effective we are and how dangerous we are to the globalists. And there's different camps in the government. The whole government's not bad. That's one reason we're still alive, plus your prayers. But listen, don't expect this show to always be here. This is not a game, people. This is not a game. This is serious for the future of our country and the world right now being decided. And elites are getting really reckless because they want to control the future of AI, of the internet, of human development. And the elites need to just back off, cool down, think about how dangerous a system they're building, because there's no way that this secures even their future activities and endangers all of us. And I'm telling you, there's real movements in government corporations to understand this. I'm not the only one saying this. People are really realizing This is dangerous to spend $5 billion to overthrow Ukraine and to move weapons and to move heavy armor and to menace Russia on their doorstep when eastern Ukraine has been part of Russia for 500 years, back and forth. Does that mean Russia's wonderful? No. But look at this next headline. While we're worried about Iran, who's already got nuclear weapons, so why does Israel want to blow up its reactors? Because Iran will become self-sustaining with those reactors. They can't refine their own fuel. They've not built up to a first world state. They're the first area in the whole region, except for Libya, to get close to that in limited capacity. And the globalists do not want any sovereign country that's self-sufficient. They're making us unself-sufficient. They're deindustrializing the U.S. This is their model. And so they want to attack Iran. And I'm not demonizing Israel. It's a larger piece in all this. The globalists want an attack on Iran at certain levels. Certain camps do. To keep radical mullahs in charge. You attack Iran and blow up some of their reactors, you're going to keep them from industrializing. They really do want them for power. And weapons down the road. They want them for both, let's just be honest. But they already got some weapons, at least 2. I can't believe I have to even talk. This is so dangerous. Let me continue. Saudi Arabia's got a bunch. Cruise missiles to deliver them, you name it. And the whole region's worried about those two getting in a fight with each other, Shiite and Sunni. Iran, Shiite, Saudi Arabia, Sunni. And so the big thing going on here, it's so sophisticated, I have trouble even figuring it out. It's all been war-gamed, and I just think it's gotten out of control. Because the best-laid plans of mice and men often go awry. To quote A Tale of Two Cities, no, that's of Mice and Men. But if you look at it, it's just out of control. And now, if you're worried about Iran, messing with Russia is the much bigger issue. And here's the headline. Putin, Russia prepared, raising nuclear readiness over Crimea. And they've said openly they'll use nuclear weapons if it continues. Russia is ready to bring its nuclear weapons into a state-of-the-art during last year's tensions over the Crimean Peninsula. The overthrow of Ukraine President Vladimir Putin said in remarks aired on Sunday. Putin also explained on previous admissions that the well-armed forces in unmarked uniforms who took control of Ukrainian military facilities in Crimea were Russian soldiers. He made the remarks on state-run TV in a documentary. So is Iran the threat or is Russia the threat? And by threat, if you go in a bear's cave and start kicking it in the face, it's going to attack you. The threat is the West wanting to dominate Russia when Russia is only trying to rebuild and is not in an offensive posture. This is global domination by different predatory groups. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. There's an article in the International Business Times admitting that the West is funding the war effort in East Ukraine. So this is a proxy war with Russia. It's incredibly dangerous. When we come back, we're going to look at the bird flu spreading in Kansas and more. Sold out for weeks due to the difficult and extensive proprietary process behind its creation, the exclusive InfoWars Life Secret 12 formulation is now back in stock. This ultra-clean vitamin B12 nutraceutical has been carefully crafted and developed over the last 2 years and is based on cellular science of how your body actively absorbs essential nutrients. Most forms of vitamin B12 are highly processed and synthetic and could not be properly absorbed by the body. Secret 12 is a binary of nutramedical grade, bioavailable coenzyme forms of B12, methylcobalamin, the same kind used in B12 injections, and adenosylcobalamin, the most bioactive form that has been created with our proprietary process. Secret 12 is taken by mouth, right on the tongue, and then swallowed. No needles, no injections. Don't take my word for it. Try it for yourself. Discover the secret. Secret 12. Supplies of Secret 12 are very limited. Secure yours today at InfoWarsLife.com or by calling toll-free 888-253-3139. Alex Jones here. For the last 2 years, I've been working with top doctors, nutritionists, and chemists to design a nutraceutical formulation that has truly life.
You're listening to The Alex Jones Show.
Cells become toxic, they die early, and aging sets in. No one